We get to ring the cash register and then roll out the weekend slate of bets, which includes baseball and NASCAR. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jason Matters with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode, Friday edition of Winning Bets, as we're giving out free sports picks each and every single day. And we've made it to the weekends, guys. Again, as we're on the Friday edition here of Winning Bets. Hope you guys prepare yourself for a nice, fantastic weekend. But before you do that, let's make sure we get in our bets for the weekend. We'll start off by recapping yesterday, though. As you guys can see right there, yesterday was a profitable day, putting 0.8 units in your pocket. And now that brings us up on the week at plus 3.24 units. Congratulations to all you guys out there tailing the picks and putting money in your pocket. We did have a loss yesterday on the day. It was a Diamondbacks team total. They did not get to 5 runs. They were only able to get to 3 runs in that game. And then we were spoiled by some weather. It was really unfortunate. The Blue Jays F5 team total, that one got rained out. Maybe we were saved there because Aiken actually got pulled in that start. The Orioles announced that they were going to start Tate to go in that game, and then Aiken was going to go second. So maybe the weather actually did us a favor there and not get that game in. But then the weather took away our Nerfy for us. In that Pirates-Mets game, we were unable to get that Nerfy in right there. We did get a win, though, with the Phillies. Phillies beat the Cubs. They beat up on the Cubs. I think that game ended 8-0. If I recall correctly. So the Phillies put a little hurting down on those Cubs, unfortunately. And then we took over 220.5 in that Bucks versus Suns and got a good cash there. So that's how we put profit in your pocket. Again, plus 0.8 units. And now up on the week at plus 3.24 units. We're sitting pretty as we move on into the weekend, rolling out the weekend slate of bets. We're in a good position to keep putting profit in our pocket and in the week profitable for now the 11th time in 13 weeks. Before we roll out that weekend slate of bets, let's go ahead and do our second round of free giveaways. Let's pull 5 names out of the hat and let's give away $50. So let's do it. Let's do it. 1. We've got 2. 3. You guys fired up for the weekend? You guys fired up for the weekend? Let's go. It's the weekend, baby. We made it. Made it to the weekend. I gotta get through one more day. We gotta get through one more day. One day stands between us and a weekend. All right, let's go ahead and get out these people. We got Primo. Primo, come on down. Give me $50. L13. L13's got $50 coming his way. We got Alex L. Alex L's also got $50. We got Thad J. Thad J's also got $50. And the last one for just this one only is YouTuber Money. YouTuber Money. So the 5 of you, go ahead and hit me up on Twitter. Drop me your PayPal information, and I'll go ahead and PayPal each one of you $50 sometime later on this evening. I'll do them all at one foul swoop, and you guys will get your money. All right, guys, let's go ahead now. Don't forget, we've got, 3 more rounds of those? Those 10? Yeah, we still got 20 more people. 20 more people are still getting hooked up with $50. Outstanding. We'll do 5 more again on Monday's show. All right, let's go ahead now and get on into this weekend slate of bets. Let's first start with baseball. That's the action up today. I want to let you guys know that some sites have this Pirates-Mets game. Some sites have the exact same pitching matchup being run back, Brubaker versus Walker. If that is the same matchup, going to go ahead and bet the Nerfy in that game. Obviously, going to run that same bet back. Love it, obviously, for all the reasons we talked about on yesterday's show. The sportsbooks don't have this game up yet. That's because some other sites say that the pitching matchup is still undecided. So just put that on your radar. If you guys see it's Brubaker versus Walker, go ahead and bet it. No, I'll go ahead and bet it. We'll do that Nerfy there. If it's any other combination of pitchers, obviously just go ahead and stay away. But you're looking for Brubaker versus Walker in that Mets-Pirates game to go ahead and bet that Nerfy. All right, one bet I do already have on here is this White Sox versus Orioles game. I'm going to go ahead and take over 10 runs at minus 115 over on DraftKings. When I did the research here, I initially thought White Sox money line, and you probably may be sitting there thinking White Sox money line initially. However, the Orioles are second in the major leagues in batting average versus a left-handed pitcher. They've scored the 5th most runs against a left-handed pitcher, and they've got the 11th most home runs against a left-handed pitcher. We only mention this because Dallas Keuchel's on the mound there for the White Sox, so that scared me. That's a lot of production from a against a left-handed pitcher. So that scared me off the White Sox money line. That's why I then settled on the total, or on the over there, because Keuchel's on the mound here. He's allowed a 270 opponent's batting average. So that meshes really well with what the Orioles do well in terms of hitting left-handers, because 270, that's pretty high. You're getting up there, sitting at 270. So I think the Orioles can do some damage here against Dallas Keuchel. He's got a 4.48 ERA, a 1.39 WHIP, and a 5.5 K per nine. So he's not missing any bats hardly this season. And again, he's got a 270 opponent's batting average. So teams are putting the bat on the ball and getting damage. And again, the Orioles are the second best batting average against left-handed hitters or left-handed pitchers. So like that combination of Keuchel up against this Orioles offense. I also expect the White Sox offense to do damage. They're going against Jorge Lopez. His numbers are terrible. A 6.02 ERA, a 1.6 WHIP, and a 288 opponent's batting average. We already know this White Sox offense is top 3, top 5, and a lot of stats that you go ahead and look up. So you've got a really strong Orioles offense against left-handed pitchers. You've got the White Sox who just have a good offense going up against a weak starter. Bullpen-wise, Orioles sit bottom 10 in majority of the stats, and White Sox are about average across the board. So not great bullpens supporting these two pitchers. So I think this game can get up over 10 runs based on the offensive advantage we have. So we'll go ahead and bet that at minus 115 over at DraftKings. The next one we'll go ahead and get in here is we'll look at this Royals versus we'll look at this Royals versus Indians game. I'm going to go ahead and take the righty in this game. Yes, there will be a run scored in this first inning, and I'm taking that action at minus 115 over a points bet. Look, let's talk about this Royals starter here for a minute. His Keller. In the first inning, obviously, his ERA is 10. He's pitched 18 innings. He's given up 21 runs, 35 hits, 3 home runs, 10 walks, and he has 15 Ks. Of all the pitchers in the major leagues, in terms of the first inning, he's given up the most earned runs, which subsequently he has the second highest ERA. He's given up the most hits. He's tied for 9th in walks allowed, and he's tied for 2nd in hit batters on the first inning. So this guy, guys, he is not getting it done in the first inning. This meshes really well with the Indians' offense because they have the 5th best runs scored in the first inning. And if you look at what they do at home, they're the 3rd best at scoring runs in the first inning at home. So, yeah, a guy that is obviously at the bottom of the barrel in terms of pitching performance in the first inning meshes really, really well with this Indians offense and what they're able to get done in the first inning. So now let's look at the Indians starter there. They've got McKenzie on the mound. He's got pitched 9.2 innings pitched here in the first inning. He's given up 5 hits, 7 walks, 2 runs, 1 home run, 16 Ks though. This guy obviously with 16 Ks, he can come out and he can certainly throw a gem there in that first inning. But what we like here with McKenzie is the Royals have already seen him 2 times, so this will now be their 3rd time getting a look at him. We obviously really like that. And he hasn't pitched since June 12th, and the reason he hasn't pitched since June 12th in the majors is because he got sent back down to the minors. He's been sent down to the minors a few times this season. This guy is really, really bad in terms of his control, so that's why, you get those 16 Ks, but then you also get, the 7 walks. He was sent down after his last start there against the Mariners because he allowed 4 walks and a run in that game. He didn't allow a hit in the first inning, but he allowed a run just because of all the walks he provided. So this guy can be all over the map in terms of his control. And again, I like that you combine that with the Royals have now are going to face him now at the 13th. Royals don't have the greatest numbers in terms of scoring in the first inning. They're only ranked 24th and they're ranked 25th on the road. But I'm relying on a really bad Royals pitcher in the first inning combined with the Indians that are just really, really good in the first inning. Again, top 5, top 3. And then McKenzie, he's not, he may have 16 Ks, but there's a reason he gets up and down between the majors and the minors. This guy is not all that good. His control is not that good. He can be hit, and the Royals are now going to see him for the 3rd time. So I'll take my chance on this game. I'll go ahead and take that righty. Yes, there will be a run scored in the first inning between Royals and Indians, and we'll do that at minus 115 over points bet. We're going to hit you here with a couple team totals. The first one, I'm going to go ahead and do a parlay. I don't really normally parlay these together, but boy, I just really think that both these have a really strong chance of hitting, obviously. I thought it was worth dropping in a parlay to get those odds. I'm going to do Athletics over 4.5 runs, Padres over 4.5 runs, and I got that parlay at plus 238 over at FanDuel. Love that plus 238. You can certainly play these two individually. They're about a minus 121 over at PointsBet and a minus 131, I believe it was, over at DraftKings. So yeah, you can play them individually, but I've dropped these suckers in a parlay. Let's gamble and let's hit a plus 238 parlay. I love it. All right, so what are the Athletics going up against? They're going up against Jordan Lyles there of the Rangers. He's got a 4.98 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, opponent's batting average of 286 and a 7.3 K per nine. The Rangers bullpen, they sit average in most of the stats, maybe slightly below average when you look at all the stats across the board. So yeah, when Jordan Lyles is done, he's not being backed by a good bullpen by any stretch of the imagination. And the Athletics offense, they're about average across the board, but they're ticking up. Boy, they used to be bottom 10, and now they're average. Some stats they even hit it. They're ranked 13. So while they may be average, they're on the trending up. So obviously, like that and what they're doing. So I think the Athletics can get 5 runs or more. And then for the Padres, obviously like them getting 5 runs or more, they're going up against Kyle Freeland there of the Rockies. A 5.58 ERA, a 1.67 WHIP, opponent's batting average of 315, that is terrible, and a 6.9 K per nine. And he faced these Padres on June 16th and got absolutely rocked. He gave up 5 runs in 3.2 innings pitched. He alone may get this bet to cash there for the Padres. And if he doesn't, we know this Rockies bullpen is really bad. We talked about it on yesterday's show, so we don't need to talk about them again. But yeah, just not backed by a good bullpen whatsoever. So. And then when you add in the offense there to the Padres, they're top 10. And a couple of the stats are maybe just outside of top 10, but, they're basically a top 10 offense because there was one stat, where they ranked 7th. So, yeah, you're talking about a top 10 offense going up against Freeland and that bullpen. Yeah, I'll take that all day long. That team can absolutely mash the ball. So, I like the Athletics and the Padres both hitting at least 5 runs. I'll do that parlay at plus 238 over at FanDuel. Then the next one I'm going to do here for a team total is Angels versus Mariners. I'm going Angels team total over 4.5 runs, and I got that at even money over at PointsBet. So love that this bet came in at even money over at PointsBet. The Mariners are throwing Marco Gonzalez on the mound. He's got a 5.82 ERA, a 1.45 WHIP, a 270 opponent's batting average. He's allowing guys a home run every 3.9 innings pitched. That is really bad because the Angels, their offense, they rank 7th overall in batting average, 7th in runs scored, and they're also 4th best in home runs allowed. But look what they do against left-handed pitcher, which is what Gonzalez is. They stay essentially a top 5, top 10 offense because they're 7th in batting average against left-handers, 6th most runs scored against left-handers, and they've hit the 2nd most home runs against left-handers. So not only are they just a good offense, they're also a good offense against left-handers. So absolutely love that. In terms of that Mariners bullpen, they're average. Go ahead and look at the stats. They're average to good. Average to good. They obviously threw a couple of their good arms yesterday. They threw their closer yesterday in getting that win against the Yankees. But the Mariners bullpen, give them credit. They're about average to good. So, but I think the Angels will hit 5 runs up against Marco Gonzalez, maybe even get 4 runs, and then they'll scrape another one against that bullpen, I think, at some point. Because if they do the damage against Marco Gonzalez, like his stats suggest, going up against that Angels offense's stats, you're not going to get the good arms coming out of that Seattle, Mariners bullpen. So I think the Mariners or the Angels will certainly get up over 5 runs, and at plus money, I absolutely love that. All right, guys, that'll round out the baseball slate. Let's go ahead now and move it to NASCAR. I've got one NASCAR head-to-head for you. I'm going to go ahead and take Kurt Busch over Christopher Bell at minus 139 over at PointsBet. I will say, at the time I made the bet, DraftKings didn't have this available. It is at minus 110 over at DraftKings. So if you haven't made this bet and you want to tail it, go ahead and do it at DraftKings. You can get it at minus 110. Why do I like this bet so much? Well, these guys have already raced here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bell finished 21st in that race. I know Busch finished 39th, but he was 4th in stage 1 before he got in an accident, before Denny Hamlin ran into the back of him and spun him up into the wall and ended his day. He was a top 5 car that day. So if he brings that same speed and that same speed and fastness to this track, he'll have no problem beating Bell. Bell was outside the top 20, where Busch was up there that day. So I expect him to be back there again. Busch even had the better driver rating, even though he crashed out in that race. He had a 67.2 driver rating in that race, where Christopher Bell only had a 60.2 driver rating in that race. If we look at Bell and his 2 races he's raced here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, his average finish is 19.5. He's got a driver rating of 65.9. And again, just his average finish is 19.5 in both races. Busch has been really, really good at Atlanta. In fact, his last 4 races, his average finish is 14. His driver rating is 96. 96, or 31 points higher than what Bell has. He's got 1 top 5. He's got 3 top 10s in those last 4 races. So yeah, he's just a guy that really likes this racetrack and can, he'll be up in the top 5. He'll be up in the top 10. And in fact, in those last 4 races at Atlanta, in those 7 stages, he's got 5 of them in the top 10. So yeah, he's always going to be running up into the front at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Absolutely like that. Obviously didn't count that stage that he wrecked out in. That's why that number was only 7. But yeah, I absolutely love that. Busch, in his last 6 races at Atlanta, if you remove the one where he finished 39th in March and crashed out, he's got all of them in the top 10. Last 6 races, he's finished all of them in the top 10. Bell is not even sniffing the top 10. His average finish is 19.5. Guys, this should be an easy win. And if we look at driver momentum, because that always counts, right? What is the guy doing leading up to this track? Busch would have won this head-to-head in the last 3 races that NASCAR's had at oval tracks. Remove the road courses. Look at the ones where they've raced at ovals. Busch won this one the last 3 ovals coming to this track. So he's got by far the better numbers easily at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's got the momentum. Everything is on his side. Come on, Kurt Busch. Beat Christopher Bell. And we'll do that. Unfortunately, we'll do that at -139. You guys need to go ahead and get that at -110 over at DraftKings. I like this bet so much. Depending on how the week goes and what the weekend slate of baseball games look like in terms of matchups, I may drop another unit on this. I'll let you guys know if I do that on Twitter, but that's how much I like that bet. I'm contemplating putting another unit up on that bet. All right, guys, that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to do this weekend slate. We're got those baseball bets. We got that NASCAR bet, and of course, we'll look to add anything to it. Got that Euro final. Just make sure you're following me on Twitter. It's at WinningBetsPod. It's at WinningBetsPod. Guys, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know you were part of yesterday's cash, or let me know you're going to be part of tailing these pits with me by hitting that like button. Otherwise, guys, go ahead and enjoy your weekend. And hope you guys have a fantastic time. Come back on Monday. We'll recap all these bets, and we'll look to be profitable for the 11th time in 13 weeks. All right, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching till the end. I'm Jason Mattis. Any love you can show by giving me a like, a subscription, or a comment, or even just share this video is very much appreciated. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to increase your chances of locking in the same odds as I talked about today. And check out my other great videos in these corners.